So thank you everyone for joining us. And I'm going to be sharing a PowerPoint with you, and I am happy to send you my slides afterwards. My contact information is on the last slide, or you can call me or reach out on any of the social media areas in which to connect with me. So I'm going to be sharing my screen. Hold on, sorry. There we go. And I want to tell you that I'm mentioning several products today. I exclusively work for the ALS Association. I have no financial interest in any of these products. I just want to show you what's available, and I don't represent any of these particular products. So one of the things, now that I have a captive audience, I want to talk about first is emergency preparedness, because in order to stay connected, you have to be prepared. So during this current corona epidemic right now, there is no outside people allowed in hospitals or nursing homes. So that's the importance of today, is how do we stay connected when we physically can't go visit someone? The most important thing I can tell you for preparation is to have a go bag, okay? And I'm gonna put my screen down here for a minute. Tilt this down a little, there we go. And in your go bag, okay? This can be, this is a particular bag that my chapter offers, but you can have a grocery bag if that's what you need to. You can have an old school bag, any kind of bag will do. But you need to put several things in the go bag, and you can have, you see the list of what I have in front of you. But for today's presentation, what we're going to be talking about is if you need to be able to communicate with your loved one on a tablet or on a phone, what are the most important things that you can have in the go bag? And number one would be a charger. I always recommend always having one of these. Go to Five Below, put it in the bag, and promise yourself you're not going to remove it. But I should back up. The importance of a go bag. What this is a bag that you keep by the front door, by the back door, whatever exit or entrance you're using, that it just hangs on a hook. And in the event that you have to call first responders, you have to call an ambulance, this bag goes with the individual to the hospital. It gives the hospital personnel critical information. Remember, you as a caregiver, your caregivers cannot go with you. You are not allowed to go in the ambulance. You are not allowed in the emergency room. So your loved one is on their own. And this is the only information that is going to go to the hospital. That's why it's so crucial to have. So in your go bag, here's a list of things you have. But you can have a medical information packet. This is available on the National ALS Association website. It is all done for you. All you have to do is take a pen or a pencil and write it out, okay? And then the link is there. And you write it out because you don't know if the emergency room doctor is going to be able to open up your loved one's phone to find out the number of their primary care physician or to find out what drugs they're on. All that would be written here, okay? The other thing I can say is that if you are sending your loved one to the hospital with your go bag and you put their cell phone in there, make sure their cell phone is not password protected. Make sure that it's not, I offer it like the 6 or 5 digit number, whatever. Because if your loved one can't communicate, then their phone is going to be useless to them. So keep the phone unlocked if you're sending it to the hospital. And other information to have in there, if your loved one can't communicate, have these, have letter boards, picture boards. I made this one by myself, and it says, how I, as Alisa, communicate. Okay, but you can do your own. You can have, now there are free communication boards here. I'm going to give, the link is patient-provider communication. The nice thing about these is that they're bilingual. So if you do have somebody who is English is not a primary, you can go to this free website. But one of the things that you should have, you know, as I mentioned, your personal contacts, who to call in case of an emergency. But this is really a crucial one, what you would write out on your own, okay, depending on what is important to you. I have shortness of breath, don't lay me flat. Oxygen might not help me because I have ALS, okay? You have to understand that many emergency room physicians never even see people with ALS. Sometimes it's very rare. And the fact is, with COVID-19, they're overwhelmed. They don't have the time to devote to looking at all your past medical history. So if you come with it, that's going to potentially save your life. So when you stay connected, so as I mentioned, have your cord. The other thing that I always tell people is have earbuds, because if you are hospitalized and you're in a room, do you want everyone to hear you on speakerphone? So, you know, these are my Apple earbuds, but you can go, again, to Five Below and put a set of earbuds in your go bag, okay? And then figuring out if your loved one is going to be there and they have a phone, how are we going to be able to FaceTime? Because on an Apple phone, I can only FaceTime with people who have Apple. It's Apple to Apple. So what happens if, you know, you're an Apple user, I admit it, I am. My daughter is a dedicated Android user. So in order for me to contact her, if I'm using my cell phone, I have to use a third-party app, okay? That's my next slide. But on Android devices, you can go Android to Android, and you can go Android to iOS, okay, through the Google Duo that I have listed here, okay? Though you can use third-party messaging apps. So you can use Facebook Messenger. You can make video calls as long as you have a Facebook account. But as you know, Facebook is free for people on iOS or Android. WhatsApp, a lot of people use WhatsApp. You know, even our politicians are using WhatsApp. And I can tell you from my own personal experience, it was great. I went out of the country and my colleague I was traveling with is using an Android and I'm using a iPhone, and we had to be able to communicate. So that's how we did it through WhatsApp, and that's free. I also know that some physicians are now using WhatsApp to do telemedicine. My stepfather's dentist is doing one today. So they're having a virtual call on WhatsApp. And then Snapchat is another one. So you have tools, you have apps that can enable you to communicate and continue to communicate video, because everyone wants to see everyone, of course. So this is one of the most critical things I wanted to pass on, and I'm going to move over here, take my screen with me to my nifty hospital bed. I'm going to have to kick the dog off, and I doubt she's going to go. Okay, so I'm here, and what's ended up happening when your loved one is in a hospital, and I've read about this a lot, is so the nurses and the doctors, you know, okay, they'll say, okay, call my loved one. And unfortunately, we don't have the personnel that can sit there and hold this in front of you so you can FaceTime. So what they end up doing is, like, they're laying in the hospital bed and they're putting it near your ear. But people want to see, they want to be able to see you and talk with you, especially in this vital time. I mean, you might be making life and death decisions and you can't see your loved one because the personnel can't sit there and hold it. So you're just doing this. So one of the things that I suggest is that you have in your go bag, you have a holder for your phone. Okay, that can be as simple as something like this. Now this I got at Five Below, okay? And it just goes around your neck and your phone goes right here, okay? Hey, it's Five Below, it's not bad. And you know what the thing is? In your go bag, this thing folds around like that. Look how small it went, okay? something to consider. And many people sell them. This is just a neck mounted device, okay? But then you can get more sophisticated if you want. I have one here that's on a gooseneck. Now this is actually, I bought this for a user that is in a wheelchair. So we were putting it behind or on the side of the wheelchair. This is a 30-inch gooseneck. They come 15, 20, 25, 30. But look, you can do it and you can maneuver it. And then I can screw this right on the side of my hospital bed here. And so then I could have it right in front of me, okay? And this is the tablet. This can be either for a tablet or it has a component for your phone. All right, so it's both. You can get desktop ones. This goes here, and it just goes on my nifty difty. You're going to see my very nifty acrylic here. But this is my hospital, over-the-bed hospital table, okay? And so it can just go, it can sit right here on a hospital bed table. And most hospitals have tables in the room. If they don't have a rolling one, they usually have a dresser next to the hospital bed. So you could actually, your loved one could put it over here or on a corner like that, and you could still see, okay? And then this was a Christmas gift from a lovely coworker of mine. This is really tiny, all right? And you put the phone in here, and there it goes. And actually, see, it enables you to even still charge because you can come up from the bottom, okay? All this is better than this. And I say that too because yesterday there was an article on CNN, and unfortunately, the person with COVID ended up passing away, but his family spent 30 straight hours on the phone with him. And I would think that if it was me, I would want to be able to see my loved one. So I put this here on my hospital bed table. I hope you can see it. Okay, and so that it could sit there and I could talk away. Okay, but if you don't want to do that, if you have your tablet, especially tablets, a lot of them are already in holders. And so this is a tablet, and I just opened it up, and it's already being held up. So there's many options that are out there for you, okay? I'm gonna go back over to my little setup over here. So now you're not sitting in the sun, there we go. So for those with relatively little technology experience, I want to show you some of the smart speakers that are out there. I have 3 of them right here in front of me for you to look at, okay? So this is the Amazon Echo Show. This is the 10-inch. This is the Echo Spot. They no longer make this, but they've replaced it with the Amazon Echo Show 5. Okay, but I still have it, so I'm going to show you this. And then this is Google Home. All right. And the nice thing about these smart speakers is that they can be set up in advance. Okay, so if you have a loved one in a facility and you know that they don't have the capability of setting it up for themselves, what you can do is you can order one of these and have, if it's not you, somebody else. You can either, one of 2 ways. You would set it up with a smartphone and have the Alexa app on your smartphone, or now you can actually set it up without a smartphone. Amazon has a page for people that are using laptops and or desktops where you can set this up. So you don't need a smartphone anymore to set up an Echo, okay? So you set it up for the individual. If you're using the Amazon app, This is what it looks like. Okay, and you set it up. You say, this is the device I'm setting up. And what you do is you call the facility. Say they're in an assisted living, you know, Meadowview, all right? And Meadowview says, yes, we have Wi-Fi. Here is our Wi-Fi network and password. You set everything up on the phone, and then you set it up on the device itself, okay? And then you mail it to the individual, and the only thing they have to do is plug it in, and it's ready to go. So here's your settings. They don't have to do anything, right? You've done it all. You set it up for them, and literally when it comes out of the box, they are good to go. So, for example, if I set it up for people and I programmed it, now that's another thing you can do, and I would suggest you do so. You program contacts. So the contacts that they would want to call. And so whether or not it's mom or dad or give it a name. So I could say, Alexa, call Olivia. And so she's going to call my daughter, all right? You could say as simple as, Alexa, call whomever, mom, all right? So you program it with their phone number.
I found a contact matching mom and Elisa's contacts. Is that who you want to reach?
Alexa, no. But you see,
I couldn't find other contacts matching mom. I'm not sure. To add another mom relationship, edit your contacts details in the Alexa app.
So you can add your contacts. So literally when they open this up, it's already ready for them to go. And the nice thing is that if you at home have one of these, you can see each other. That's the whole point. Or you can see them through your smartphone. So you don't necessarily need to see this. They can have it, they in the facility. You can communicate with them on a smartphone. However, if you all want to see each other, you can have this, the both of them, okay? If you don't know the Wi-Fi information, if there's somebody at the facility that can help set it up, usually that's like a recreational therapist. They're often willing to do that. However, they're so overwhelmed, I can't say now that they would do that. But it is something to ask, is there somebody there? If not, one of the recommendations is get as close as you can to the facility, see if you can pick up their Wi-Fi and do it like in the parking lot and put it all together and then send it into the facility. If there's no Wi-Fi at all, you can use an old smartphone, and it does not necessarily have to be it doesn't have to be actually a smartphone. It could be any phone that connects to the internet. Whoops, I'm sorry. I also want to show you on the Amazon product something that's called a drop-in. We use a lot of this with our caregivers that they're like, I need to go to the grocery store. I need to know my loved one's okay. And so you can do a drop-in. So hopefully this works. Alexa, drop in on the spot.
Elisa's Echo Spot, right?
Alexa, yes.
This is Elisa's Echo Spot. I can only drop in on other devices or contacts from here. To drop in on this device, drop in from the Alexa app by tapping on the chat icon in the bottom navigation bar.
Telling me I have to go through the app, and I knew that. I set this up last night, and of course I knew that. Here we go. So we're going to drop in, and if you can see my screen, you can see me. All right, and it takes a few minutes to drop in. I'm sorry for the background noise, but you can see I dropped in here. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so I know my loved one's okay. Sorry. You can also drop in if they're in the facility. You know, you could say, drop in to Mom's Echo show, okay? So those are smart speakers. Go put that down. And if you don't want to use a smart speaker, I'm going to give you some other options. So unfortunately, this is sold out right now, but I looked on the website, it said come back, check back and see when it'll be in stock again. But a GrandPad is the only tablet that was designed for what I call the senior market, but it's designed for people who have absolutely relatively little technology experience, like none. And you can see here, this is what it looks like. 4 buttons. You can actually program more, but you know, so you, this is through a cellular, commercial cellular, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name right now, consumer cellular, thank you. And so you order this through consumer cellular. And you can go month to month. You are not locked in to a yearly contract like you are for so many, most other devices. Does not require Wi-Fi. And it really is designed for seniors. And but I hate just saying seniors, really, because there's a lot of people who have relatively little technology experience. But it allows the user to send and receive photos. You can play games with family members, but you can do video chat, which is the most important thing people want to do at this point. But since it's out of stock, if you're looking for something like this, that is absolutely the most user-friendly tablet you're going to find, that's the one. This is the tablet, but there is a phone. This is the Jitterbug smartphone. This is designed, again, for the senior market, but I'm saying for the less tech savvy, all right? It's a large touch screen, but you can see the difference. On my phone, I have all these icons. On the Jitterbug, there's no icons. It's what do you want to do? I want a text message. Because if you're trying to teach somebody how to use an iPhone or an Android, you have to say, okay, go to messaging. Well, for some people, especially, you know, who might have being overwhelmed or they cognitively can't figure it out, they'll say, well, I want to text. They don't realize that messaging is texting, all right? So this is basically, what do you want to do? All right, and then it's going to take you there. There are no icons. And and again, no contract on this, but it is a smartphone. It's not as big as a tablet, but for those that have relatively little experience, this is a great way to introduce them to technology, and it is currently available. I checked last night on Amazon, and it said if you order today, I can have it there, I don't know what they say last night, by Friday or something. So at least in my zip code, okay? Yeah, so it's less than $20 a month for the Jitterbug. And again, if you put that in one of the mounts I just showed you, you know, people can talk away. Now, iPads, they on multiple websites, they are saying it is the easiest for people with that don't have a lot of technology experience. They come in 3 different sizes. They have the mini, the regular, and the pro. The mini, I think, is just, you know, it's not that much larger than an XL cell phone anymore. But here's the pro and here's the regular, so you can see the difference in the screen size, okay? But there's also a difference in weight. But for people that you just want to send this to, you want to set it up, and you don't want them to get overwhelmed, you can limit the amount of icons on a page, you know? Like, you could just say, okay, this is what they have to choose from. And so that they're not so overwhelmed with seeing all the different icons. You can say to them, this is your home page, and these are the 5 things, and the 5 things might be, you know, video or FaceTime. And it might be wordscapes like mine is, because, you know, I do like playing wordscapes. And maybe Netflix on there as well. okay? Whoops, sorry, I went ahead, sorry. And I'm not discounting Android tablets, but a lot of the research and a lot of the articles that are out there say you have to at least understand a Windows operating system to understand some of the Androids. So that's why I didn't put it on here. I'm trying to focus on what is the easiest method of communication for people. And I don't know what's making that noise. And so you can consider an Android if you have someone who has the tech experience in using an Android, either a phone or might have used a Windows operating system in the past. So in a lot of the articles that I am referencing here say one of the other ones for people with relatively little technology experience is the Amazon Fire. And this is actually really affordable at $149. Has a 10-inch display. And the nice thing about this is that if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can obviously stream all their services. You know, you can stream their music, you can stream their videos, but you can't stream other things like YouTube. So the Amazon Fire is really just developed and it really wants to keep you in the Amazon family. So that's why it doesn't allow you to do apps like Gmail and some of the others. But for $149, it's a really good deal, and it does do exactly face-to-face like we are here. And if that's what you want, you just want to be able to connect with somebody, this is a good deal at $149. Facebook Portal is another one. Downside of this is that you have to have a Facebook account, and I know some people are worried about the privacy issues that Facebook is still experiencing, but it is an option as long as you are willing to have a Facebook account, and it comes in 4 different sizes, sorry. And you can see the largest is the Portal Plus, and that's the one right here. And then they have a regular and a mini, and then one that just goes right on in front of your smart television. And you can video chat with your Facebook friends, but again, they have to be on Facebook too. So like for me, this would never work. My mother is absolutely, no, I'm never getting on Facebook. So if I needed to chat with her, if she was in a facility or in the hospital, you know, I'm going to have to use some other thing, FaceTime or WhatsApp or something like that. So that's the downside of the portal. The benefit though, it's relatively easy to use. You know, easy to set up, easy to make phone calls. So I want to give you my contact information. I promised you I would send you my slides if you need them, but also that I am happy to, let me pull everybody up.